All right, guys, Sanj here. Welcome back to another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network, specifically another episode of Bodybuilding Today. We're covering the 2021 Texas Pro in the 212 category. We're going to talk about the lineup. We're going to show you what they're looking like, what each athlete is looking like approximately 3 days out from them stepping on stage. So if you're interested in something like that, make sure you stay tuned. But let's go ahead and start off with the first competitor on the scorecard. And the first competitor is going to be Guy Cisternino. So with Guy Cisternino, he just competed at the Tampa Pro. He did not place. He was in that 16th spot. So it's going to be interesting to see where he places at the Texas Pro. I thought that he had pretty good conditioning at the last show. So I don't know if it's going to be a conditioning game. I don't know if it's going to be a fullness game for Guy, but definitely will be exciting to see what him and his team is going to plan to do. Looking at the most recent footage that Guy Cisternino has put on his Instagram, he looks comparable to what he looked like on stage. I think he has the conditioning, the dryness, the thinness of the skin. He could place well at this show, but it really is going to come down to what he's able to bring to the stage. He looks comparable to the last time we saw him on stage in this most recent video here, but I just don't know. I don't know what to expect from Guy Cisternino. I don't know where he's going to land. I don't know if he's kind of sunsetting. I don't know. It's really hard to tell, but let me know in the comment sections below. What do you guys think about Guy Cisternino at this year's Texas Pro? The next competitor is Charles Curtis. So Charles Curtis was one of those guys that absolutely blew up at the Tampa Pro. I didn't even have him. I think I might have had him at the bottom of that second call out. He absolutely shocked people. He was in that first call out in prejudging, and then he pretty much just kept rocking it all the way into that show. Looking at his most recent photos over on the grams, I think we can expect to see a very similar package to Tampa. It's only a week apart, so he might come in a little bit more conditioned. He might come in a little bit more full, or things might go wrong. It's really hard to tell. But let me know in the comment sections below, how are you guys feeling about Charles Curtis coming into the Tampa Pro or into the Texas Pro? Next on the scorecard is Toto Zhong. I think the D is silent, so it's Zhong. And out of Sacramento, California. Now, this guy is a classic physique guy. He's switching over into the 212. The last time we saw him was in 2019. Looking at my notes, last time we saw him was in 2019 at the Battle of Texas. He placed second in the classic physique. And then, like I said, he took about 2 years off to put on that extra size for the 212. Looking at the most recent physique update over on his Instagram, big, massive classic physique. He's got those Asian legs. So he could really be a dark horse coming into the show. He could be like a Charles Curtis, but for the Texas Pro. He has the size, he has potentially has the conditioning. It's just really going to come down to how much size he's been able to put on that upper body as we're looking at this photo. I'm not sure if that's enough to crack into that first call out. But he definitely could do well to show he has the frame, he has the structure, and he has the muscle insertions. But let me know down below how you guys are feeling about him. Next on the list, probably one of the favorites to win this show, is Ahmed Elwadanay or Elwadanay. He's done very, very well this year. We saw him at the Tampa Pro. He placed second behind Karr Bajo, make sure I say it right since he was on the channel. If you guys haven't seen his interview, check out the videos in the channel. We had a fantastic interview with him before he won the Tampa Pro. So check that out. But Ahmed Alwardany, probably going to be one of the favorites coming into the show to win. Looking at the most recent footage on his Instagram, he looks, again, very comparable to the Tampa. It was a week ago, so it's really going to come down to, I feel like I'm just saying this over and over again, but it's going to come down to, is he going to be really conditioned? He's shown that he has fantastic conditioning. My only caveat is that the tan in the finals at Tampa, I thought was just a little too dark, and it really hid a lot of definition and conditioning that he had. So if they could make that adjustment to not put as much tan on and really just be able to present the best package possible, I think he could win the show. Next on the scorecard is Ahmed Fawzi. out of Iraq. The last time we saw Ahmed Fawzi was, I believe, at the Tampa. Last time we saw him was at the Tampa Pro. And for the most part, he came in a little out of shape, a little off on the conditioning. The midsection was washed out. Chest, just overall, I thought he could use a little bit more shine. Fantastic legs, great conditioning and separation in the quads. Moving into the back shots here. Again, kind of the same thing. I like some things, I don't like some other things. Great conditioning in the upper body, glutes, and even a little bit in the hamstrings. He could have used some help. I think he could use some work on making the bicep peak look a little bit better from the back. That's just something I'm noticing. Amazing tricep insertions and conditioning the triceps. You don't really see that much separation when you're looking at those rear delts, but that's what he looked like in the Tampa. Expect to see a very similar package from him, as it was barely even a week ago from the Tampa Pro to the Texas Pro. Next up is Martin Gomez. Martin Gomez, another competitor that recently competed at the Chicago Pro. He placed 8th in the 212. And now this is one of the competitors. I like his physique. I love the conditioning. Probably one of the driest, most shreddest. These words are hard, guys. Words are hard. One of the most shredded competitors in the 212 at this year's Chicago Pro. Just very, he just got outsized by a lot of guys. Now there's not a lot he can do from the Chicago Pro coming into the Tampa or the Texas Pro. He could play the size game. He could try to keep, a little bit more fullness, sacrifice a little bit of conditioning. But I just think he's just going to need a little bit more time in the pro leagues to just build a little bit more muscle. Another competitor, Mr. Conditioning, Jason Hebert. The last time we saw Jason Hebert compete was at the Tampa Pro, I believe. I apologize if I messed that one up. He got pushed back to the second call out, just kind of got lost in that mix. In Jason Hebert, I call him Mr. Conditioning because he always brings probably some of the best conditioning in the 212. He's always in shape. He's always shredded. He's always dry. The conditioning, the separation is always there. I just think that he got lost in that mix. So if he can find a way to really showcase his strengths, the conditioning, the quad sweeps, the great peak in the biceps, the shredded abs. If he can find a way to showcase his strengths and look better, or to, how do I want to say it? If he can find a way to use the conditioning to outshine some of the bigger competitors, I think he could do well at this show. But let me know down below what you guys are thinking. Another competitor that I thought got lost, well, a couple things happened. Austin Carr, I'm a big fan of Austin Carr. I actually want to do his show in Las Vegas. He's an NPC promoter as well as an IFBB pro in the 212. He kind of got lost in the lineup at the last show at the Tampa Pro. I actually had him in that top 3. I thought he was going to potentially win that show after his fantastic showing at the 2020 Chicago Pro, where he placed second behind Keon Pearson. Unfortunately, Austin Carr, something happened. I'm not sure what, but the conditioning was not there compared to what we saw on Instagram. He came in very watery, very full, not a lot of separation, and he just really got just the short end of the stick for that show. So I'm hoping that he makes the adjustments to really shock the judges and say, hey, I am a serious contender in this category in the 212. I'm hoping that's what we get to see from Austin Carr from his most recent physique updates on Instagram. I think that's what we're going to see. He has just such a beautiful flow to his physique. It's nothing like anything else in the 212. Just the proportions are just so wacky. So if he can maintain this level of conditioning, I think he could actually win this show. Next on the list is Todd Lee. The last time we saw Todd Lee, I believe he won his pro card at the 2020 NPC North Americans. And then from there, he looks like he took some time off, and now he's going to make his splash in the IFBB in our beloved sport, in our beloved class. I'm a huge fan of the 212. So I will be interested to see what type of condition and what kind of shape he's going to bring to the Texas Pro. He reminds me of a 212 aesthetic Aaron Clark, actually, just the way his facial structure looks. It's very reminiscent of Aaron Clark. But looking over Todd Lee's Instagram, I'm not seeing a lot here. It's a Planet Fitness photo. It doesn't look like there's been crazy amounts of size put on in the legs. The conditioning is pretty far off, and this is a relatively recent photo. So I'm not sure where Todd's going to land here at the Texas Pro, but let me know if you guys have heard anything else out of the Todd Lee camp. Next on the list is Leonardo Pacheco. The last time we saw Leonardo Pacheco, something like that, was at the 2021 Puerto Rico Pro in the classic physique. Now, you would be surprised looking at these photos that this guy's a classic physique guy. It makes sense that he's gonna make that move over to the 212. He just has that structure. He's massive. He probably had to suck down a lot to make the 212 or the classic physique weigh-ins, but I think he could actually do really well. The only thing I'm worried about is that lower back definition. It's very watery from the Puerto Rico Pro. So him coming into this Texas Pro in the 212 from the classic physique where he placed 11th, I'm not sure what's going to be in store for him when we're thinking about placings, but with his debut in the 212, I think that he could be happy with the second place call out. But if he were to bring some crazy next world Kareth Bajo, Phil Kahar level of conditioning, I think he could crack into that first call out. Next on the list is David Robinson, the Reaper. I follow him quite closely on Instagram, Reaper_Robinson over on Instagram if you guys want to follow him. The last time we saw him was at the Tampa Pro. Now, I love his physique. It just flows very well. He made a great decision coming over from the classic physique. Unfortunately, that decision didn't translate well in terms of placings, but I do love his physique. I think he could do well in the 212, but it's really going to come down to how much muscle he's going to be able to put on the next few years. He just, he kind of got outsized in a lot of the shots. I thought his conditioning was pretty good, but we're just going to have to wait and see exactly what he can do, especially in the quads from the front. He looks just a little narrow, but the wide lat insertions, I mean, they're high insertions, but very widespread. Great, probably some of the greatest arms on that stage. Moving from the front to the back, I just want to give a good analysis because I really liked his physique. Just looking at the back double, it looks like he hasn't. And again, whatever. I tell you guys, I mean this with the best. I mean this in a loving way. I want these athletes to do the best that they can. So I'm not trying to say I'm better than them or anything like that. I just give my opinion and my whatever. But if you've ever posed before, you want to open up the back to really make it wide to let those lats spread, and it looks like he's still kind of crunched back, and this was the best photo I could get. So maybe it's a bad photo, but let me know, David Robinson, man. Let me know what your thoughts are on my criticisms, on my recommendations. Was this just a bad photo, or is that something that you and your coach have talked about? And then everyone else, let me know in the comment sections below what you guys think about David Robinson competing at the Texas Pro. So next one is going to be a tricky one. Carlos Rodriguez out of Mexico. This could be the Carlos Rodriguez that placed 5th at the Puerto Vallarta Pro just recently, or this could be the gentleman who won his pro card in Orlando at the Amateur Olympia. So I do apologize if I mix those up, but if we're going to see this Carlos Rodriguez at this show, if this guy can suck down to 212, he's going to be an absolute monster. He has a crazy physique, crazy flow, Rami-esque quads. I'd like to see a little bit more conditioning going up into the posing. I don't like it when it washes out like that. But overall, like if this is what's coming to Texas Pro, I think a lot of these competitors, Ahmed Alwardany, Jason Hebert, people like that are going to have a very tough battle in store for them if this Carlos Rodriguez is coming to. Next on the scorecard is Jonni Shreve out of Canada. The last time we saw Jonni Shreve, from my understanding, is at the 2019 Toronto Pro. I thought we saw him recently. Let me know in the comment sections below if I'm messing this one up. But this is the most recent update on the NPC News Online site. But I swear we just saw him at a show. So let me know in the comment sections below where you've seen Jonni Shreve most recently. But if our records are right, or if the NPC News records are right, 2019 is the last time we saw him. It was a pretty unconditioned version of him. So hopefully we get to see a much better conditioned version of Jonni Shreve. The midsection was kind of blown out a little bit when we're looking at those obliques. So that makes me worry, but just overall, it wasn't the best package that he could bring. So hopefully we get to see a better package. I don't have a most recent physique update from his Instagram camp. So let me know in the comment sections below if you guys have seen anything. And the last competitor on the scorecard, as of 2-3 days out from the Texas Pro, is going to be Rasheed Sookie, a frequent flyer on the channel. He actually comments on some of our videos, so hope to see you in the comment sections, brother. But the last time we saw him was at the 2021 Puerto Vallarta Pro, where he placed 10th. Now, I'm not sure how he's going to be placing in this coming show. He brought some pretty good conditioning. It's just there's just some structural issues that I don't know if he'll be able to beat and fix in time. I think that he needs a little bit more size in those side shots, especially when we're pressing that hamstring up against that leg. I think he could do some improvements there. And then also just overall, just some of the posing, I thought could have used some improvements, you know, the elbows, things like that. So let me know in the comment sections below how you guys feel about Rasheed Sookie placing or competing at the 2021 Texas Pro. All right, guys, that is a condensed as fast as I could and still giving the respect to the athletes of a scorecard lineup prediction review introduction to you guys. I know you said you guys wanted to have these videos shorter, so I did everything I could to make these videos shorter. But I hope you enjoyed the information. I hope it was informative. I hope it was entertaining. As always, all of the links are in the description to these athletes' Instagram pages. Go follow them, support the athletes. The mission statement here at the Bodybuilding News Network is to bridge the gap between the athlete and the casual fan. So if that's something that I was able to accomplish today, smash that like button. My name's Sanj, your host. Thank you so much for watching another installment on the Bodybuilding News Network as we are 3 days out from the Texas Pro. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.